I was at my mom's best friend's house for dinner, and her son was my ex-boyfriend. I pretended not to know him, head buried in my phone, scrolling through videos. The first one that popped up was how to get your ex-boyfriend's attention. I watched it 8 times, but it just didn't grab me, so I swiped away. The next video was from Dr. Suchow. Can a man still perform after drinking? That's when I realized my earbuds were silent. I cranked up the volume, and the next second, the man on the other end of the couch ripped off his earbuds, looking annoyed. Lay off the drinking videos, ex-girlfriend, he said. You're connected to my earbuds. Melancholy fries reminded me, the main story of bamboo earbuds begins now. My parents decided to eat out that evening. I was in my room, pretending to work diligently on my thesis, but my ears were perked, waiting for them to knock and call me. The front door creaked open, then shut, and still no one called. I couldn't sit still. Without even putting on my slippers, I dashed out, stopping them. Mom, Dad, where are you going? I asked. Out to eat, they replied. I hinted, don't you feel like something's missing? My mom looked around, confused. Missing what? I pointed at myself frantically. Me. Are you really going out to eat without me now? Weren't you busy with your thesis? I'm almost done, I said. 3,000 words yesterday, 4,000 today. I was totally lying. Yesterday I wrote 3,000 words, and today I deleted 4,000. 2 days of hard work yielded 1,000 words of apologies. Just another day of making my advisor lose face in the academic world. If my advisor knew, he'd definitely tell me, go home, child, just go home, okay? Maybe I should just stop working. Didn't you post on Facebook yesterday about needing money for something? My dad asked. I already gave you 500 on Thursday. No, I want to go out too. My dad thought for a moment, then asked, are you sure? School starts tomorrow. You're really going to eat out without finishing your thesis? What's there to be scared of? I'm not going to my advisor's house to eat, I said. My parents exchanged glances, fearing they'd change their minds. I quickly put on my shoes, rushed out the door, and buckled myself into the car. They had no choice but to take me. For now, I didn't have to rack my brain trying to churn out academic garbage and pollute the environment. My mood was fantastic the whole ride. I swayed my head, humming a tune, listening to the two in the front chat. From their back and forth, I gathered they were going to my mom's old best friend's house for dinner, someone she hadn't seen in years, and my dad and her old best friend's husband were college classmates. What a bizarre coincidence. Even a magic house couldn't be more magical than their connection. My mom mentioned that her old best friend's son looked like his mom, and he was super handsome. At this, she suddenly poked me. Your auntie's son, she said. He just got his PhD this year, in your same major. If you have any questions about your thesis, you can ask him. My dad interjected. TSK. His old man plans for his boy to follow in his footsteps and become a teacher. My mom's talent isn't being wasted at all. He's certainly excellent, my mom said. As she spoke, they inexplicably looked at each other. Then in unison, they looked up at the rearview mirror. I had just finished shelling a handful of sunflower seeds and was tilting my head back to toss them into my mouth, chewing away. When I looked up, I felt their 2 piercing gazes. My mom was the first to look away. Forget it, she said. I don't think they'd have any chemistry. Hearing that, I almost choked on my sunflower seeds. Were they trying to set me up with someone I hadn't even met? No way. So I quickly nodded. Exactly. I'm not good enough for him. I'm just a pathetic graduate student who only contributes negative side effects to society, with an abstract future and unable to write a thesis. My mom turned around and stared at me. I thought you knew why we weren't taking you with us tonight, she said. I was so annoyed by them both that I didn't want to speak. The destination was a gated community. After getting out of the car, we walked for a bit. I stomped behind them in a huff, maintaining a distance of over 10 yards. They didn't mind, walking hand in hand, all lovey-dovey. By the time I realized it, they were already knocking on someone's door. That's when I panicked a little. I sped up, turning my walk into a brisk trot. Soon, the door opened. The sky was dark, and from a distance, I could vaguely make out a tall, very handsome man opening the door. No way. This top-tier hottie was a STEM PhD? I was afraid my parents would go in and leave me behind, but I also wanted to get a better look at the handsome guy's face. I quickened my pace, then broke into a jog. Finally, I caught up to them. I let out a sigh of relief, one hand on my hip, wiping sweat from my brow. "Is this the handsome guy?" a clear, crisp voice asked, obviously directed at me. The voice sounded strangely familiar. I looked up curiously, and in that instant, I quickly buried my head again. I hated the sky for not being darker. After hating the sky, I hated myself even more for being so greedy and insisting on coming out to eat. She must have recognized me. I didn't say anything. My dad saw my silence and introduced me. "This is Uncle and Auntie's daughter, Summer E. You two go to the same university. She's in her second year of grad school. This is your Uncle Joe's son, Jaden Joe." I really wanted to tell my dad he didn't need to be so detailed. After all, when we were closest, we knew exactly how many moles each other had, and which ones were most sensitive. We were clearly a perfect match, but neither of us was easy to deal with. She spoke provocatively, and I spoke rudely. I couldn't remember what small incident it was, but we had a huge fight. In a fit of anger, I broke up with him directly. He nodded his agreement, slammed the door, and left. We went our separate ways. Now, she was my ex-boyfriend. "Oh," he said, drawing out the O sound, even more sarcastically than before. The insults were on the tip of my tongue, but I glared at him, biting my lip, holding it in, holding it in, holding it in. "You two know each other?" My mom noticed my strange expression and Jaden Joe's tone. Her puzzled gaze darted between us. "Do you really know each other? Have you met before?" I chose to remain silent, hoping Jaden Joe wouldn't be an ass and reveal our relationship. Just as I was feeling anxious, a loud, booming baritone voice echoed from inside the house, getting closer. "What, Summer E? Why are you here? Didn't you say you were working on your thesis?" "I can't believe this." It was my advisor's voice. Just 5 minutes ago, Professor Joe had messaged me, "Student Xia, a whole break has passed. Will I ever have the chance to read your thesis draft in this lifetime?" Of course, I couldn't disappoint my kind and amiable advisor, so I quickly sent him a staged photo of my desk at home, piled high with references. I confidently brushed him off. "You see, I haven't gone anywhere today. I haven't even had dinner yet. I'm buried in my writing. I'm clearly the type to submit my draft this week and become an academic superstar next week." He didn't reply, just kept sending me death smiles. And now, seeing me standing at his doorstep, he had that death smile plastered on his face. The 50-something man held a leak, pointing it at me as if I were a lost cause. He was gritting his teeth, wanting to scold me, but my parents were there, and my advisor's wife was calling him to hurry up and smash the ginger and garlic. He held back his words, huffing and puffing as he went into the house. Jaden Joe watched the scene unfold, a sinister smile playing on his lips. He answered my mom's question. "Student Xia is my dad's prized student. I often hear her mentioned at home, so I have a strong impression of her." I thought there was nothing more embarrassing than my ex-boyfriend being my advisor's son. Now, there was. It was so awkward I wanted to dig a hole and bury myself. In that moment, I felt like my graduate life was about to go off the rails. Feeling mortified, I clung to my mom as soon as we entered the house, utterly dependent. Jaden Joe poured us tea. I kept my head buried behind my mom. She thought I was shy and gently pulled my head out, encouraging me to speak. "Your brother poured you tea. What do you say?" I took a deep breath, forced a fake smile, and said, "Thanks." My mom cleared her throat, sternly. I immediately meekly corrected myself. "Thank you, big brother." Hearing this, Jaden Joe inexplicably chuckled, nodding. "You're welcome, little sister." He emphasized the little sister very tightly, then narrowed his eyes deeply at me. I hadn't even had 2 sips of tea when my mom couldn't sit still anymore and went to chat with her old best friend. My dad and Professor Joe hadn't seen each other in a long time either, so they started reminiscing. The vast living room was suddenly left with just me and Jaden Joe. Our eyes accidentally met, and I quickly looked away, pretending not to notice. He calmly took out his earbuds and put them on. They say time flies when you're scrolling through videos. I desperately wanted this mortifying night to end quickly, so I lowered my head and started browse videos. As I put on my earbuds, I glimpsed Jaden Joe taking his own earbuds from his jacket pocket and putting them on too, looking like he didn't want to be bothered. He sat down on the furthest couch, face cold. I let out a long sigh of relief, thinking, I overthought it. He doesn't really want to bother with me either. I opened TikTok, and the first video autoplayed. The title of the captions was How to Get Your Ex-Boyfriend's Attention. As soon as the video finished, I heard a scoff from nearby. I slightly raised my eyes and saw Jaden Zhou with a smirk on his lips, looking very happy and smug, like someone who'd been strung along by their crush. Had he already found someone new after only 3 months of breaking up? An inexplicable tightness squeezed my chest. I felt a little uncomfortable. Scrolling through videos at someone else's house just wasn't as satisfying as doing it in my own bed. Perhaps it was because I wasn't completely at ease, but I had some comprehension issues. I didn't quite get it the first time, so I rewatched it. Let's watch it again, and again, and again. Finally, on the 8th watch, it dawned on me, why was I learning how to attract my ex-boyfriend's attention? Right now, I'd rather be invisible in front of him. Okay, not interested. I decisively swiped away. The next one was a science video from Dr. Suchow. Can a man still perform after drinking? I stared at the words, my pupils dilating, and quickly paused it. Good heavens, Suchow, you didn't even introduce yourself. You caught me off guard, leaving me nowhere to hide. Before, I had accidentally opened TikTok in the elevator without my earbuds on, and it was a video like this that had utterly mortified me. After that, I learned my lesson. Whenever I scrolled through videos, I always wore earbuds, never external audio. Never let a second person hear. But today, even with them on, I felt uneasy. I subconsciously looked up and around, finding the elders busy with their own things. No one had heard. My racing heart quietly settled. My gaze returned, and I couldn't resist glancing at Jaden Zhou in the distance. He was frowning, his formerly smiling expression now unnaturally stiff. I wondered if he had seen or heard something unbelievable. Never mind. More than why Jaden Zhou looked like he'd eaten something foul. I was more curious about whether a man could still perform after getting drunk. But after all, I was in someone else's home. Even though no one was looking at me, I still felt a little embarrassed. I didn't know why I was being so coy. I kept feeling like someone would suddenly appear behind me and secretly stare. I didn't dare to watch, but I could listen with my earbuds. I pulled down the navigation bar to block the video, listening only. After a few seconds, I only heard the elders' chattering voices. Where was Dr. Su? I wanted to hear Dr. Su's voice. That's when I realized, my earbuds seemed to have been silent the whole time. I hadn't heard any sound from the first video. It was muted. I long pressed the volume button, cranking it up. Then I realized that even at maximum volume, there was no sound. My earbuds were broken. No, these were brand new earbuds I'd bought today, over $1,000, and they broke on the first use? My heart shattered into a million pieces. Unwilling to accept that the earbuds were broken, I paused and played the video, played and paused and played, all to no avail. I tried turning the volume down then up then down, and down then up again, still nothing. Summer E, are you deaf? Jaden Zhou suddenly spoke. You can drink, don't watch those videos. With my 5.2 vision, he couldn't possibly see what I was watching on my small phone, could he? No way. There's no way he heard it, right? I hadn't heard anything with my earbuds on, let alone the sound traveling to him when we were 2 couch lengths apart. Just as I was confused, Jaden Zhou walked over, took off his earbuds, and said, looking annoyed, you know why there's no sound, ex-girlfriend? Because you're connected to my earbuds. Earlier, I said there was nothing more embarrassing than my ex-boyfriend being my advisor's son. Now there was. Jaden Zhou's floor was spotless, pristine. That's because my dignity had swept it clean. Whatever little tricks you're trying to pull, cut it out, he warned me, holding his earbuds, gritting his teeth. I don't like you anymore. Don't play these games here. I bristled. Bro, you're not that unforgettable, I retorted. And why don't you reflect on yourself? Why haven't you bothered to get new earbuds after all this time? The earbuds he was using were a birthday gift from me. When we were together, we often shared them, so they were connected to both our phones. Reflect on what? It's my freedom whether I replace them or not. He scoffed. I don't need to reflect. But you said we'd never see each other again, that we'd be strangers. And now you're the one who showed up at my house. Oh, where I go is my freedom? I shot back. If I'm such an eyesore, why don't you dig a hole and bury yourself? That way I won't appear in front of you. Right. You're so free you've come into my house, he countered, so domineering. Why don't you just say my whole family is yours? Fine, I said. You're mine. Go write a big thesis and put my name on it. Initially, I had been a bit awkward and shy around him, but now I was arguing head-on. The memories of our old quarrels came flooding back. Seeing his flustered expression, I suddenly felt incredibly satisfied. I stood up, rolled up my sleeves, ready to continue our lively debate. But then Jaden Joe suddenly went silent. I looked at him in surprise. It wasn't cold, so why was his face red? I scoffed. Oh, you're already defensive after just 2 words? Super sensitive, huh? Jaden Joe didn't speak, just pursed his lips in a sulk. What are you 2 kids standing there for? My advisor's wife called from the kitchen. Dinner's ready. During dinner, I was immersed in the joy of winning our little spat. My advisor saw me eating and grinning widely, chuckling to myself. He pushed up his glasses and narrowed his eyes. Summer E, how's your experiment progress? Have you organized all that experimental data? Have you read the papers I sent you? You can at least send me your thesis outline. My triumphant smile instantly vanished. Did he really have to bring up such heavy topics during dinner? Jaden Joe, sitting beside me, snickered, clearly enjoying my misfortune. My advisor didn't let him off the hook either. Very funny, is it? Then I'll leave her to you. Summer E, you can show your draft to Jaden Joe later. My parents remained silent, focused on eating and watching the show. My advisor's wife pinched his arm. We're eating dinner. This is home, not your conference room. If you keep blabbering, you'll be eating with the dog. I wanted to laugh, but I held it in. After scolding my advisor, his wife turned to me with a kind smile. Don't mind him, little Summer, she said. Take your time with your thesis. If you need help with anything, you can ask Jaden too. You two are the same age, so you'll probably get along better. Jaden Joe, who had been silent for a long time, finally spoke. No, thanks. I don't get along with people who can't write theses. To lighten the mood, my advisor's wife began sharing embarrassing stories about Jaden Joe from when he was little, like the time he tried to raid a chicken coop and got chased and pecked on the backside by a chicken. I listened with great interest, so absorbed in giggling that I didn't notice where I was putting my chopsticks. I reached for the stir-fried pork with chilies. Suddenly, all 4 parents stopped laughing and talking. Their gazes collectively fell on me, or rather, on me and Jaden Joe. Following my mom's gaze, I looked down at my bowl. The chili pork I had just picked up had somehow ended up in Jaden Joe's bowl. Inside, I let out a silent, sharp shriek. When I was with Jaden Joe, whenever there was something I didn't like to eat, as long as he was around, I'd instinctively make him finish it. I couldn't handle spicy food, and just now, without a second of hesitation, without even realizing it myself, that piece of meat covered in red chilies had already landed in Jaden Joe's bowl. Muscle memory was terrifying. Jaden Joe quickly shoveled the meat into his mouth, smiling cunningly at me. Go ahead and put food in my bowl, he said. I still won't help you with your thesis. I hoped that dish would be spicy enough to kill him. I dared not get distracted again and focused on my meal. That's when I noticed the plate of large shrimp was already more than half empty. Jaden Joe had taken an empty bowl and was peeling them one by one, putting them into the bowl. I was too lazy to peel them and hadn't really wanted to eat them earlier, but now, seeing them already peeled, I secretly swallowed. I decided I'd buy some to make it home tomorrow. Then his mother said to him, "You're allergic to seafood. Why are you peeling so many shrimp?" Jaden Joe chuckled. "I peeled them for you, Mom." His mother narrowed her eyes at him. "Who do you think you inherited that allergy from?" Then she turned to me. "Here, eat. Save yourself the trouble of getting your hands dirty." I cautiously glanced at Jaden Joe. He pushed the bowl towards me. "Eat up," he said. "Eating more will help you grow a brain." Fine. For the sake of the shrimp, I'd let this one slide for now. After dinner, the elders chatted animatedly. Jaden Joe took a call and said he had an urgent matter to attend to, then left. After he left, the conversation inexplicably turned to him. My mom gossiped curiously. "Going out so late, is he seeing a girlfriend?" "Oh, no, he doesn't have a girlfriend," his mother replied. "Even though he's not young anymore, he doesn't plan on dating. We don't pressure him." She took a sip of tea, lowering her voice as if sharing a secret. She said he broke up with someone a while ago. He didn't eat or drink, just hid in his room and cried every day. He even killed several of the plants I have in my yard, plucking them while muttering that he never wanted to see that person again, and never wanted to date again. He's been busy with work lately, so he's a little better. We don't dare ask too much. We just let him be. Jaden Joe crying? That was a surprise. After all these years together, I had never seen him cry, so he was secretly hiding and crying. I buried my head in my coat, feeling a little guilty. I had broken up with him without giving any reason. He had seemed so defiant when he agreed, so why did he secretly cry? Lying in bed that night, all I could think about was Jaden Zhou crying. I tossed and turned, unable to sleep. I opened TikTok, hoping to scroll through some videos to help me sleep. As I scrolled, I habitually opened Jaden Zhou's profile for my daily stalking session. He still hadn't posted anything. As I was about to slide to exit, my phone slipped from my hand, directly hitting my nose. It hurt so much I winced. When I picked up the phone from my pillow, I realized I had accidentally liked Jaden Zhou's profile, requesting an update. I even thought about deleting my account, already having a new name in mind. Then I suddenly received a private message from Jaden Zhou. I opened it, and it was a video of his abs that he had recently filmed. He was breathtakingly gorgeous. I hadn't seen him in months, and he had secretly gotten even more in shape. Who said this account was bad? This account was amazing. Ugh, I couldn't touch them, which made it even harder to sleep. Fearing he would recall the message, I quickly saved it. After watching it dozens of times, I coldly replied, "Still up so late? Thinking of me?" I rolled my eyes. "Just insomniac as usual from not being able to write my thesis," I said stubbornly. "If you can't write, why are you on your phone?" "iPhone 16 Pro Max 1 terabyte, he replied with a faint, speechless emoji. I put down my phone and stared at the ceiling. I suddenly thought of him crying again. In the middle of the night, guilt welled up, and I felt bad. Given his generous sharing of his abs, I wanted to apologize to him. So I picked up my phone and messaged him, "Jaden Zhou, are you asleep? There's something I want to tell you." I started drafting a self-pitying essay. He replied instantly, "What? You want to apologize to me? Don't pretend. You want me to go soft on you, help you finish your thesis, and then kick me to the curb, right? Then let me ask you, what do you really consider me? A stand-in or a tool? My daddy's?" Even though I knew I was a studious, model student, he couldn't think I was that bad, right? I silently deleted the 300 words I had just typed and asked him, "Do you have a link to your money tree? Heh, you want to buy it for her?" "No," he replied. I couldn't understand what nonsense he was spouting. I dryly said, "No, forget it. School starts tomorrow anyway. I'm too annoyed to chat." Then Jaden Zhou, officially agreed to school starting. He messaged. He was teaching me a lesson in harshness. The next day, back at school, I cleaned up my dorm bed, which I hadn't lived in for a long time. Before, I used to live with Jaden Zhou. After we broke up, I moved out of his apartment and started living back on campus this semester. I couldn't resist buying a ton of stuff for my dorm. When I went to the package locker to pick up my deliveries, I realized I hadn't received any pickup codes. That shouldn't be right. I had bought everything a week before school started. When I checked, I shrieked in the dorm. My roommate almost kicked me out to pick up the packages. I had forgotten to change my address. Everything was sent to Jaden Zhou's apartment. Why didn't he tell me? Without thinking, I rushed to his apartment. It was the weekend, so he should be home. I stood at the door and called him. After a long while, he finally answered. "What do you want?" he said coldly, but his voice was unusually low, hoarse, and a little breathless. Heavy breathing rose and fell, clearly hinting at something inexplicable. My eyebrows twitched. Had he just finished working out? "I forgot to change my address for my deliveries," I said. "They were sent to your place. Can I come get them?" "Oh," he said, "then come in." With that, he quickly hung up. I waited for a long time, but he didn't come to open the door. I lost patience and tried putting my thumb on the keypad lock. Ding! The door opened. I looked at the open door, slightly surprised. I went inside and didn't see Jaden Zhou. I walked straight in, tentatively calling out his name. "Jaden Zhou?" As soon as the words left my mouth, he walked out of the bedroom. He wasn't wearing a shirt, only gray sweatpants. His lips were moist, his eyes were red at the corners, and his bangs were damp. He looked hazy and tempting. I was afraid my eyes would shamelessly stick to him, so I quickly looked away, glancing around. "Why aren't you wearing a shirt?"